out of the water. And I'm so excited to have her on this call because I think everybody knows about Jen Burgess. And I've had so many coaches asking me, what is Jen doing to see so many successful points month after month after month? What is she doing to be advancing ranks so quickly? What is she doing to have so many coaches joining our team month after month after month? You know, it's not just this beginner's luck. I mean, she's been doing this for a while, and she's still showing up at the top of our recruiter list and the top of our success club list. And, you know, when I talk with her, it's obvious to me, you know, that she's working so hard and she's figured out some systems. She's figured out some things that work. And so I'm really excited to have Jen Burgess on this call. So, Jen, you're here. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Good. So you have to tell us, like, first off, what motivated you to be a coach, and how did you kind of get started?
Well, first of all, let me apologize for my sore throat. If I cough a little bit, you guys, I'm coming off of a cold, so there's that. What motivated me to become a coach? Well, actually, I really hadn't thought of it. I think when these things happen so quickly, like you look at it in retrospect and you wonder how it happened and when the process actually started. I guess probably 2 years before I became a coach, people would, you know, ask me, do you want to do Beachbody this or Beachbody that? And, you know, I was doing other things and busy, and that didn't really fit into what I had going on at all. And so I was just like, no, you know, thanks for asking or whatever. And then life got rough, and I was forced to take a different perspective. I found myself in litigation over child support stuff, and, you know, just not to go into the nitty-gritty details of that, but those can be kind of ugly, or a lot ugly, and mine was pretty bad. And I was pregnant with my second set of twins, so my fifth and sixth child, and I had a part-time job working as a resource teacher at the junior high, and we just couldn't make ends meet. And then my husband lost his job too. There weren't enough hours to sustain the new drug and alcohol counseling program that they had at his counseling facility, and so he was basically let go, basically given like 5 hours a week of work, and we just weren't going to make it. I was getting depressed. I was so strapped for money that I was told that I needed to be on bed rest, but because I was in danger of having my twins prematurely, but I couldn't do that, so we tracked down a wheelchair, and I was wheeling. It was kind of fun. I got popped a few wheelies, but I was wheeling around the hallways at the junior high in a wheelchair, 6.5 months pregnant with, you know, twins, with a dilated cervix, so it was a little bit scary. And I had the twins, and, you know, you do what you have to do. I mean, you can focus on how much money you don't have and how negative things are only so much. I was so busy during the day taking care of the 6 kids that it really didn't hit me until late at night each day. And I laid down in my bed every night and I cried. I woke up in the morning and I felt so hopeless. I just didn't feel like that was me. And one day, you popped up. So I looked at your success, and I thought, you know what, here's a person who I've known since I was a little girl. And she's 2 years younger than me, and she played an orchestra with me. And I spent the night at her house with her older sister, who was my good friend. And she's what? She's doing what? I was like, okay, I want to know what that's about, because she's making a successful life for herself and her family. She's able to spend time with her kids, and they don't have the worries of those finances of being so broke. And when I saw that from you, Brigitte, as you know, I called you up, and I said, I want the map. I want to know what to do. And from there, I just decided that being a coach and doing whatever it took to help people and make a way for myself in this world was what I was going to do.
I love it. Well, and the thing is, I remember messaging you a year before you ever signed up and talking to you a little bit about it. And, you kind of ignored me. When people are always like, oh, they didn't respond to my message, I'm like, yeah, that happens to me too. And you just can't overthink it, and you just have to know that these people are following your post, because here, that's what happened with Jen. She didn't respond to some of my messages, and then when she did, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm so busy. It's just, it's not a good time for me. I can't do it. And it wasn't that the time changed. It wasn't that, like, things got easy and you now had time, but you got uncomfortable enough, to say something's got to change, So it's interesting, and then it was time to go for it. So you signed up as a coach. Tell us what the turning point was for you when you feel like your business really started to take off.
Well, I'm kind of like a go hard or go home girl. And when I started, I just knew that if you could do it, that I could do it. I just knew that. And I kept seeing this common theme from Scotty and you, and then a couple of other coaches that I knew of up in our upline. And every single one of them said, just don't give up. Just don't stop. Whatever you do, just keep going and trust that everything is going to work out. And that is something that I don't want to cry. That is something that I had myself convinced that I was really good at, because I've accomplished a few things in my life. I've built houses from the ground up. I've had 6 kids. I used to have another type of personal training business before I got my professional figure and bodybuilding card. I've done some things. And I had myself convinced that I wasn't a quitter, but when I really took a hard look at myself, I realized that I was kind of a quitter. And so I was like, here I am in the doldrums, a quitter, and here are all these other people who are experiencing success and ease and contentness and just all this stuff, and the common theme is just don't quit. So I made a decision that I was going to go hard or go home. So I made time, and I think the first thing that I did in this business that put a massive amount of energy in, that has recycled itself month after month, only because I continued, is I literally invited 200 people in one weekend. That's what I did. I literally made a post about my life and started not being afraid, and I invited 200 people. And that's really, when I sent those invitations, I had this overwhelming feeling that I was doing the right thing, and that anyone who was supposed to be touched by me, or that I was supposed to learn or grow from, they were going to come forward. And it was weird because I only got 10 yeses from that. I invited 200 people, and a lot of them are people who are really close to me that trust me, that didn't say yes back then. But when those first 10 people said yes to me, I knew that I had a great responsibility to honor their trust, and I was excited about that. And I just knew that I could repeat that. I could repeat that month after month after month.
I love it. Well, and I saw that. I witnessed that, Right from the very beginning, Jen was willing to talk to anybody and send out those invites or messages. And, anyone who showed any interest on her page, she's like, hey, I'm going to message them. So, well, and that kind of goes into this main topic that you have of creating a, influx of people just saying yes to you and kind of coming to you and saying that they want to join you. So I'm going to turn the time over to you and kind of let you just dive into the meat of what you have to share with everyone and let you take over.
Okay. So I want to just qualify 2 things. I always do my personal development, and I always do my workouts. Now, when I say always do my workouts, guess what, everyone? Sit down. I only work out 4 times a week. Imagine that. I have 6 kids, and I go on a couple of walks, and I do 4 workouts. I can't work out 6 or 7 days. I could, but it would be at the cost of my sanity. So I just make sure that I keep those basics. I drink my shakes. I do 4 workouts every week, and that's my non-negotiable. I might, sneak in a 5th one or a 6th one, but that's extra if I have time. And my personal development. I wake up every day and I read 10 minutes in my bed. Before I even get out of bed, I just crack my book open and I read 10 minutes. And I did not know this about Scotty, but he listens to like 6 hours of personal development a day. I'm like, I guess if I plugged it in all the time, I could do that too. I tried it, and then I was like, that's not for me. But I can definitely listen to like 2 extra 10-minute things, like in the car, going back and forth to places. So I just started with what I could do. So I probably do about 30 minutes of personal development every day. And with 6 kids, I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And I would not trade this most important part of my day for anything, because I already know what happens when I don't do it, and I don't like it. So I make that sacrifice every day and do my personal development. And then the workouts and the shakes. And then, here's the third one. Here's the third vital behavior, right? Inviting people. Well, the invitation to me starts so much longer before the sentence, do you want to join my challenge group, or can I tell you more about what I do as a coach? For me, at least, I feel like inviting equals showing up, and showing up is useless if you're not prepared for something. I couldn't come on this call and just completely wing it. I spent some time making an outline and writing down my thoughts, and so I showed up prepared. And being prepared equals, if you have to ask yourself, what are you preparing for? Are you preparing to build a business? Like, are you preparing to bring people into your team and into your challenge groups for growth? And if that's the case, then being prepared equals not just like living it, not just doing the things that I said, but like really showing up, because being a coach is a lifestyle. People have to like the things that they see about your life in order to begin to see the bigger picture. And if they can't relate to you, or they don't feel that you care, they're not going to join you ever, ever, ever. When was the last time any of us ever trusted or wanted to even show interest in anybody who didn't show up, or that we couldn't really see, or was hard to read, or were super mysterious? That's a lot of effort. I'm not going to go out of my way to find all about you. I'm only going to be, my head's only going to turn if I can see your shiny colors. So I think that inviting is basically dead without posting. You don't want to send out something that says, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? But they can't go on your page and see what you're all about. They're going to feel like you're trying to sell them on something. And that is the nightmare, right? That is the thing that we all worry about as coaches, or a lot of new coaches I feel worry about, is like, I don't want to offend anyone. My invitations are not, powerful. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not even about that. It's just really not. Truthfully, I've seen people posting only about their workouts and their shakes, and their kids. That might be the only things they post about. And that might reach 10 of the 50 people that like really need you. But the other 40, they are not ready to just dive into all of that stuff. They feel overwhelmed by it. What they feel more comfortable with is if they see your imperfections, if they see your vulnerable side. So I post on my page every day, about 5 days a week. Any one of you can go on my page and see that I'm pretty vulnerable on my page. I admit a lot of shortcomings, and I like to talk about that kind of stuff out loud because it helps me to be accountable, and it does serve a purpose. It serves a purpose for my business, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I would say that would be a number one thing to start doing immediately if you're not doing it, is go ahead and talk about the argument that you had with your spouse last night, and go ahead and talk about how you were really tempted to raise your voice at your kids, and that you did raise your voice, and that you had to stop. And why did you stop? What were your feelings? People can relate to your feelings, and they're having the same struggles as you, and they want to know that they're not bad. And if you put a positive spin on the things that you're doing, the lessons that you're learning, they admire that. They really do. They feel like there's hope for their bad days. And I think that's where it started for me. I felt like there was hope for my bad days. Not because you messaged me once a month for 5 months just asking me if I wanted to join a challenge group, but that you messaged me once and you left me alone. And then your name popped up from a friend, and then I went on your page, and I was like, oh my gosh. That's how it happens. And so what's the next thing that I do? I invite like crazy. And I don't, that is such an overwhelming thing to say. People are like, I don't have time to invite like that. I don't have time to do all that and get all those no's. Like, that's hours and hours and hours out of my week. Well, yeah, it's going to seem like that if that's the attitude that you have. I personally do not think of inviting in a traditional way, like, would you like to go to this? It's not like that for me. Every single thing that I do, I decided to be a coach. And I do want people to join my team. And I do want to help people lose weight and be healthier. So I literally set my intention on attracting people to me who are ready to start the process of building trust, of like building relationships, and so that I can genuinely help them see possibilities for themselves through what they see in me, just like I saw possibilities for myself through what I saw in you. And so I'm not thinking of my inviting at all to get a guest. I literally, I want to say this. If you put it in reverse, why are we so scared to be the person who touches someone else's life? Like, someone touched your life. You have a coach. I have Brigitte as my coach. I mean, do we think of our coaches and the people who we look up to as boastful or pushy? I mean, is that why we chose them as our role models? It's definitely not. I mean, we value them. We look up to these people. We're grateful for them. I know I'm grateful for Brigitte. And there are people out there who will feel the same way about you. And there's nothing pushy about being yourself and trusting that those people who are ready to see you, in the way that you saw your coach, are out there. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing boastful about that. There's nothing like, look at me, oh, I'm so awesome, you should join my team. It's about acknowledging that if you could look up to someone else can look up to you too. There are coaches. I have a coach on my team right now, Megan Lee Moore, who Brigitte asked, I think a while ago, like, who knows how long ago, like a year, I don't know. She didn't even tell me until after she joined my team. She messaged me out of the blue one day, and she was like, hey, you know what? I've been watching you, and you've been doing so well, and I know you've invited me like every other month for the last 7 months to do a group with you and to be a coach, and I wasn't ready, but I'm ready now. And I listened to, what'd she say? She listens to, I think she listens to a talk that Brigitte did, talking specifically about the fact, and this is something I really want you guys to internalize. Brigitte talked about the fact that there are people who she can't reach. There are people who are not supposed to be with her. She went with Scotty because she resonated with Scotty, and there are people who have not signed up with Brigitte who have totally signed up with other coaches. As a coach, it's in our best interest to have integrity and understand that each person does need to be with somebody who they can relate to. And so Megan, isn't this interesting? Think about the purity of this. Megan signed up on my team. Megan may not be contributing to Brigitte's rank, but Megan is contributing to Brigitte's income and to her team. Megan is still on Brigitte's team. Brigitte's effort was not in vain. She's not benefiting from it. Isn't it interesting how she invited someone and then they came full circle onto Brigitte's team, but just as my coach? That is incredible. And you guys have got to know that people who are supposed to be with you are not going to choose Bonnie Engel or Brigitte Linford or Missy Reber or Kasia Fitzgerald because they're better. They're only going to pick them if they relate to them. So it's a mindset shift. And, I think that let's talk about some things that you can do to create this funnel of yeses. I personally, just take the word invite out of my mind. It's a scary word, and I replace it with making friends, building relationship, and showing interest in people. Instead of finding people to invite today, I simply just say, I'm going to show interest and care for people today. You know what, you guys, it's really fun. It's fun to give compliments, and it's fun to ask questions. And you should just do it. Once you have, your head wrapped around this, just make a commitment to take a chunk of time to talk with people. Don't even approach them about Beachbody right away. Just see who your gut tells you might relate to and start building a relationship with them. I have given 5,000 compliments in the last 9 months, at least, okay? And it's fun. It's fun to be nice to people. And so you can explore and discover people. And what I did was I set a tangible number of people that I wanted to reach out to each, day or week or month. And it did take a while to kind of rotate into a cycle, but I would say give it a shot. Test yourself out. Set the number of 200. Go on your Facebook page and go check 200 people's pages. Look at what they're showing you. Give them a compliment. Send them a message. Just literally, there are so many things that you can say to people. And it's about creating that initial pool of people. I feel like sending out those 200 invitations was the best thing that I could have ever done for my business. And so how it works with me and Success Club is I set Success Club 10 as a non-negotiable every month. And I basically attain that by the 15th. There was 1 or 2 times that I think it took till the 22nd. And I even had 1 month where I needed to get 2 at the end, and that was super stressful. And I take a look back at that, and it's because I didn't do what I'm about to tell you to do. The last 2 weeks of every month, I take a dedicated amount of time every day, and I literally go through pretty much my entire Facebook message thread. I will converse and talk with all the people that are in there and pick up on their lives. That's what we do. We talk. We just talk. That's it. And the conversation sometimes naturally evolves to a challenge group invitation or a coaching invitation, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay, because you don't want them if they're not ready. And that's pushy, and it's selfish, and it takes people time. If Brigida had kept messaging me and messaging me and messaging me, I probably wouldn't have signed up with her as a coach. I know I wouldn't have done that. And so that's what I do. Every month, I focus on building relationships with people. The last 2 weeks of the month, I spend so much time doing that. And then the next month, the people who are ready, they stand out to me. And because we've been talking together so much, because I like them and they know that I like them, when they're ready, they say yes. And if you stop building relationships with people, your funnel runs out. And when your funnel runs out, what do? It's stressful. It's just better to live with integrity every single day and be talking to people and finding out about what they're doing. It's just so much better. It's job insurance, because eventually the people who you are meant to help will come forward. You've got to trust that. Just like Brigida was for me, and I am for my coaches, you are also for your future coaches. But you have to show up. You have to wear your life on your sleeve. And you have to build relationships with people. And I guess I just want to say really reiterate that people can feel it if you're thinking over the top of your message thread. Like if you're messaging them and all you're thinking about is when they're going to say yes to you, they can feel that. And you're procrastinating that window of time that could shorten if you would just really let it go. And so they will when they're ready. And remembering just to be humble and give gratitude for the opportunity that you have to learn from those. I mean, they are not the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones that they trust us and that we can learn from them. And so if they know that, if they can feel that from you, it's going to turn into a yes. So yeah, 2 weeks of really hardcore relationship building every single month. And then 2 weeks of pushing hard at the beginning and really, really turning that beginning invite, which is, hey, I like your tattoo, or hey, I heard your mom passed away, I'm so sorry. That you started 4 or 5 months ago, that you've rounded up and it's become more frequent of talking, that is when I dive in at the beginning of the month and I turn that initial invite into a, would you like to hear more about my job? Would you like to join a challenge group? Or whatever it is that I'm going to say. And it's working. It's working every single month. And it's rewarding too. So, yeah.
It's perfect, Jen. I love what you had to say. And there's so many things that, even for myself, I mean, I've been doing this for 3.5 years now that I've been a coach, but it's that constant reminder to me of the fact that this is a relationship business, and you're not going to create this tunnel of people coming to you by just like spamming them in this copy and paste message that's like a blanket invite to your challenge group, or by just making one post on Facebook that says, hey, I'm doing a challenge group. Like, I get from you that it's like, I love what you said about you have to be posting on your page and having that obvious that, hey, I'm a coach, this is what I'm doing, this is my lifestyle, connected with, hey, I'm showing interest in you as a human being, and I care about you, and then it leads to that natural funnel of people who want to be a part of your challenge group because they see it on your page, you posting, and they see that this person cares about me as an individual. So it's perfect. Like, it's just simple, but it's one of those things that's easy to do but easy not to do. So much good information. I love it, and I love that you've kept it simple. It's not this, hey guys, this is my secret sales pitch or my secret advertising technique that I'm using. It's just I'm focusing on people. So tell me about what has changed for you, like your life transformation. I mean, how many months have you been a coach now?
On December the 17th, it will be 10 months.
So crazy. So what has changed in the last 10 months for you?
So many things. Prior to being a coach, I was on state welfare, and I had a lot of credit card debt that I wasn't able to put any money towards, dealing with bill collectors and different things. And my kids, it was a stress to be able to do anything fun for them. And so not that it's bad to, improvise and do things that are free, but it's, we do live in today's world, and let's just be honest, it's nice if you can afford to put them in gymnastics or, some other activity, even if it's just $40 at the rec center for basketball, and not stress out over that. And so I was also, my body was wrecked from the twin pregnancy, and I have lost 70 pounds since I had my twins, with Beachbody programs and drinking the shakes consistently every single day. And so now I'm off state aid, and I'm able to put money towards my credit card bills every month, and I'm so excited because I have my intention set on having the Financial Fitness Award next summer at Summit. I would like to be recognized for having paid off all my credit card debt, and I still have $10,000 left to go, and guess what? It's going to get paid. I know that it will get paid. And I am so excited about that. I've never felt more self-sufficient in my life. I have advanced from a brand new coach to a 5-star qualifying diamond coach, and that's exciting. It seems so unattainable and like a mystery, or like, how did they do that? And it just kind of happens when you're doing the stuff that I talked about earlier. So it's crazy to me that I've gone from nothing to a $3,000 to $4,000 a month income and growing. I've even had a month that was $4,400, and that's insane to me. Like, I don't even know how to really have any words to say what that is like, to have gone from nothing to building a full-time income for myself and having it be ever growing. So yeah.
Well, it's inspiring. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I can tell the team here that, like, Jen has worked for it. It hasn't just been this easy thing that has just come to her. She is someone who's willing to put in the time, willing to make sacrifices, and talk to as many people as she possibly can. And so from my perspective, I just want to put that out there to the team as well, that, some people will ask me, okay, tell me how many invites I need to get to get to Success Club 5, and if I tell them 20 invites, they send out 20 invites, and then that's all that they're willing to do. But Jen's like, I'll invite every single person I know. I do whatever it takes, and I think that attitude has served you well in this business.
Well, and I want to say one last thing about that. I'm kind of crazy. I would say that as I'm scouring through my Facebook messages to do this activity that I've chosen that's valuable for me, that I'm having fun doing, because I know that I want to build these relationships with people and see where they go, I would say that I start back up at least 100 conversations every single month, and that I'm revolving through. It's like a daily, it's almost more important to me than posting in my challenge groups. And I didn't say that out loud because I always post in my challenge groups. I love my challenge groups. I love all of the people who have already signed up, but the process of talking to people and finding about their lives is so fun for me. I literally am in 100 new and like 100 old conversations at any given time.
Yeah. Well, I believe it, and I can, share that it's been the same for me. That's the number one thing that takes up time for me is constantly reaching out to people and messaging people. So, yeah, such good information. Thank you so much, Jen. Anything else you wanted to share, or you covered it all?
Just the last thought is just to encourage everyone to just not give up. I am 36 years old, and it took me until I was 35 years old to not give up. And I don't know how old all of you are. It doesn't matter if you're 20. It doesn't matter if you're 55. It's never too late to never give up. That's what I'd like to
You're
say.
an amazing testimony of what is possible when you have that attitude. So, thank you so much for being willing to get on this call and to share with everyone what is working for you. It's such an inspiration to see how you've grown and the changes that you've made in such a short amount of time. So, thank you so much, Jen. We did record this call so you can share it with your team, but thank you all for getting on this call, and we will see you in the team page here shortly for some trivia questions. Thanks everyone for getting on.